Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
Hey, so how does it feel being nominated for Best Screenplay here at the Independent Spirit Awards?
Utterly surreal and humbling and exciting. Just so grateful, You hope for these things, and when it came to the Spirit Awards, we thought, okay, hopefully maybe, first screenplay category, and to find ourselves where we are among, some people that we, have admired and adore. It's utterly surreal.
So tell me where the idea of To Dusk came from. I mean, this is kind of like an off-the-wall concept.
It's fairly off the wall, and it comes from very deep, dark, and honest places. All these threads converged in this project that could sort of be traced throughout my whole life. At the core of it all, and the emotional heart of it, is this idea of grief and the idiosyncrasies of grief. And I lost my mom 12 years ago, and never found comfort in prescribed mourning rituals. And we try to have rituals to help people through them, and we try to have rubrics psychologically to understand grief, but at the end of the day, you're left with the idiosyncrasy of your own grief, and that grief is valid, and that process is valid, and this script was an act of grief and mourning in a way to continue to process the death of my mom 8 years on, and so that's where it comes from. But it opened up the space to think about these things that have fascinated us for a while, and this notion of existential dread and the comedy and the tragedy therein, the idea of starting with such a dark topic and recognizing that it was darkly comic, but not realizing how comic it could be, and writing the script and staring into that darkness, and the comedy was the only way that there was a release valve on it. So we think of comedy and humor as holy in a way, and then these genre influences, which Jason really lifts up as well, the ability to bring in love of Tim Burton and stop motion animation of Val Lewton, and horror films that have turned horror into poetry. So it's an amalgamation, but a wholly honest and non-winking one, I think.
100%. And a special thanks needs to be given out to Sloan, that really kind of threw the gauntlet down about, can you come up with a concept that, can inform the public about science, about the sciences that maybe people don't know, but find a way to do it that's, resonates both, emotionally, that's the stuff of story, and God love them. They've been supporting this film since the very beginning, since they threw down that gauntlet. And
be honest, how much research do you guys do for body decay?
Oh my God!
The FBI is certainly tracking my Google search history. Simultaneous research into the Hasidic world and the world of forensic anthropology. I traveled to body farms. I was never allowed over the other side of the fence. But the folks who lead these facilities, and it's an amazing and relatively young field of science, were so generous with their time and with their insight. The fact that even with a pass from the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, we couldn't get behind the fence was the reason that they have to break in the script.
Perfect.
But it was a weird journey. But the cool thing is that it was the research and a need to be authentic both to the Hasidic world, the folkloric world, and the scientific world is one of the things that created the strangeness of the film. The strangeness of the film is completely derived from authenticity and not from our own imagination.
Excellent. Well, hey, congratulations, guys. Hey, thank you for speaking with us.
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.